Okay, so you may have just installed the May 2020 update, also known as Windows 10 version 2004, and found it's given you a lot of problems. So how do you revert back to the previous build? Well, you can do this within the first 10 days of installing Windows 10 2004 or the May 2020 update. After 10 days, the option is removed. So this is how you do it. Click on the start button in the bottom left hand corner of the screen so that the start menu appears, and then on your keyboard type recovery. After a few moments you should see underneath settings recovery options just here. Move your mouse over it and left click once. And then if it's less than 10 days since you installed the update, you'll have this option just here which says go back to the previous version of Windows 10. If it's been more than 10 days, then you haven't got that option, and there's no way of going back to a previous version without wiping your system clean and reinstalling from an older version of Windows 10 media to get it back to an earlier version. So, but if it is less than 10 days and you've got this option, then all you do is just move your mouse over the Get Started button just below Go Back to the previous version of Windows 10, left click it once, and there we go. It says Getting Things Ready. This won't take long. Well, it will take a while. Don't know why they say it won't take long, because it always does. So just be patient with it. Okay, so it's asking you, why are you going back? So if you can, select a reason on here, the reason that closely matches the reason that you're uninstalling it. So in my case, it's earlier build seemed more reliable, or if you've got another reason for it and you want to tell them more, you can click into Tell them more and tell them the reason why. But okay, so I'm going to select earlier build seemed more reliable. So I've ticked that, and then I move my mouse over next and left click once. Okay, so it says check for updates ? Before you go back, try installing the latest updates. This might fix the problems that you're having in Windows 10. So you've got an option here to check for updates first of all, so you can click on that, see if there's any updates for Windows 10 and see if it fixes your particular problem. I've checked that already, so I'm going to move my mouse over, no thanks, and left click once. So it says here what you need to know. This might take a while and you won't be able to use your PC until it's finished. Leave your PC plugged in and turned on. After going back, you'll have to reinstall some apps and programs. You'll lose any changes to make to settings after installing the latest build. Are your files backed up? This shouldn't affect them, but it's best to be prepared. So as it says, make sure before you click on next that you've got a backup copy of anything that's really important to you, and also make sure that you've got the ability to reinstall any programs that may be lost during the regress back to the previous version. So make sure that you've got any media like CDs, USB sticks with the programs on. Make sure that you've got usernames, passwords to be able to re-download the programs or apps. Nine times out of 10 this won't affect any apps, maybe some that you might have installed or updated within the last 10 days, but 99% of them should be okay, but I can't be 100% sure. So like I say, if you're at all concerned or you've got anything on there that's of any importance to you, now's the time to back it up. So once you're happy you've got a backup copy of all your files and you've got the ability to reinstall anything you may need to, move your mouse over next and left click once. So it says here, don't get locked out. If you used a password to sign into your previous build, make sure you know it. You won't be able to sign in without it. So like I say, make sure you've got your password that you used to sign in with, if you did have a password, that is, before you upgraded to the May 2020 update. Once you're happy you're okay with this, move your mouse over next and left click once. Okay, so it says there, thanks for trying this build. We'll install the next preview build when it's available. So move your mouse over, go back to earlier build and left click once. And here we go, the computer is now restarting, and this is where it's going to take a while, so please make sure that you leave your PC plugged into the mains. Don't try and reset it. It may take a good few hours. Even if you have to leave it overnight or for the rest of the day, leave it. Just don't try and reset it. Don't try and power the PC off, because you could end up with a defunct PC. The computer is now restarting, and it's going to regress us back to an earlier build. And like I say, this is going to take a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video and we'll come back to it at certain points just to check back to see how it's going. And there we go, so it says restoring your previous version of Windows. Okay, so the computer's restarted, and we've got the little balls spinning round. And here we go, it says please wait. And we're starting to boot up. And there we go, we're back to the desktop. And if we wanted to double check that we're back to the correct version of Windows, or the previous version of Windows, you can click on the start button, and then when the start menu appears, just type the word about on your keyboard, and then after a few seconds, under best match, you should see about your PC system settings. Move your mouse over this and left click once. This about box will now appear, and just scroll down and get to the Windows specification settings there, and as you'll see, the version will show as your previous version, and hopefully everything should be back to what it was before you done the upgrade. So there you go, that guide told you how to revert back to a previous version of Windows 10 if you're finding you've got problems with the current version. As I say, this must be done within the first 10 days, otherwise you'll need to wipe your system clean and reinstall from scratch from an earlier version of Windows 10 media. Hope this guide helps. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at CWTech. That's at CWTech on Twitter. And don't forget to check out my other videos in my YouTube channel. Just Google Chris Waite YouTube. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for your support.